I am going to be talking about psychosis. And psychosis is basically a presence of hallucinations and or delusions. And I've experienced it twice my while in bipolar episodes. Um, the first one I ever experienced was when I was just on Zoloft, which is an antidepressant, and I had just come out of residential that took me off lithium because they thought I had just depression and behavioral problems. So they took me off lithium and put me on just Zoloft, which was a huge mistake. I started out okay. I think I've talked about this. I started out okay. Then I started hearing planes. I didn't think much of it because we were in a populated area with quite a few planes flying above. I know I kind of made me kind of anxious. I was definitely a little paranoid, but I didn't think much of it, so I would just kind of do my work and ignore it as much as I could. Sometimes I believed that it was really, really loud because none of the other kids would notice that there was planes flying above us. And I just said, okay, well, maybe I have extra sensitive hearing. Then I had a dream that, I wasn't sleeping much, and I had a dream when I did sleep, because I was getting maybe like 4 hours of sleep at night. And I had a dream that planes were going to drop bombs on me because they had found me, and that they they found me, and I can't really remember because it was really sketchy, like memory wise, like in and out focus. Like I'd remember some things but then other things not. I didn't really realize that I was hallucinating until the hospital, but that will come later. So where was I? The planes were flying above, and I believed that they were going to get me. So I started to think about this more, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. I believed that the only way to save everyone else was to kill myself. Just trigger warning. So I had a huge argument with my parents about the planes and about other things, and my sister informed me the other day that I was telling everyone that planes were gonna drop bombs on the place where I live. So I had an argument with my parents, and I ended up running out to go to a bridge. I believed I was gonna jump off a bridge and that everyone would be saved, and by doing this that God would, like, I don't know, like accept me as his like king in heaven or something. I don't know. So they tackled me, my parents did, threw me in the car and took me to the hospital. I was hospitalized. I don't remember much of it. I would plug my ears every time I heard a plane, and this is the first time I realized I was hallucinating, is when the doctors came in and they said I was plugging my ears, and then when I took my ears, uncovered my ears, they said she's still hallucinating and she is on a heavy dose of antipsychotics. Like, what is going on? And so they upped my antipsychotics, and then I realized, oh wow, I'm really hallucinating. Like, this is serious. So I started to think of them as hallucinations, like just ignore them, and that, I mean, they still make me anxious and I cover my ears and stuff, but I wouldn't be like as like running around like telling everyone, hey, blah 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 blah. So then they released me. I immediately kind of decreased my antipsychotics because I didn't want to be on that much medication. I thought that it had stopped the hallucinations, but then the hallucinations came back and I started hearing words. I didn't have much delusions at this time. I just thought that I just kept hearing the words, and I by then I was like really depressed and like I wanted to actually kill myself and stuff. So I was also very angry. So I told my school psychologist that I was hearing voices because they were telling me yes, no, run, just simple words, you know, and then I'd hear them mumbling and I'd think that they're talking about me or something. Then they took me to the hospital, and this time they thought they were readmitting me to residential. I thought that I was going to get the help I needed and that maybe someone would help me because I kept hearing these voices and they were telling me that yes, you have to go to residential. You have to. It was more like yes, but it wasn't like, but I kind of knew in my brain that residential is what they're talking about. So when they told me that I didn't screen in for residential since I just gotten out, that they'd have to be sending me to a state hospital. So I attempted to run because the voices tell me run. I don't know why, but that was the worst mistake ever. I was tackled and restrained yet again. Attempted to give me the booty juice, which is basically like a shot of Thorazine in your butt. But I took the Benadryl instead because I was semi-coherent. Then I was transferred to the state mental hospital for kids, which was the worst experience probably possible because they restrained me 4 or 5 times for, trigger warning again, for like trying to jump off the stairs, and also for being aggressive verbally and towards, well, this one girl attacked me, so I was aggressive back, so they restrained both of us. And my mom said she's worse off on her medication than she's ever been, which was true because they still had me on the Zoloft, and not a very high dose. Like I was on Abilify, which is like an atypical antipsychotic, and it didn't really help me, and I told them that, and yet they still put me on it. Sorry, the shadowing is weird. So I wasn't very medicated at all, and I stayed in that hospital for 2 months because they were tapering me off all my medication, which they had to do very slowly. I don't know why. It's just what they told me because I kept asking to leave, and they're like, oh, we're taking you off your medication, don't worry. And then my mom had vouched for me to be off my medication because I was getting worse, and I said, okay, take me off my medication because I think it's making me worse too. And then they were going to put me on Geodon. And my mom refused it because she's like, I'm done with medication. Like, I put her on so many worse stuff, and it's either giving her heart problems or it's making her hallucinate. And so I was taken off and sent home. I stayed out of the hospital for a long time, but that is a different story because I had a full-blown manic episode with my first like a first full-blown manic episode. That was not hypomania and stuff, but that will be in a later video. Thank you for watching, and I will continue to make videos, and hopefully you'll send in comments or just constructive criticism of how I'm doing and just questions you have. So, bye!